Hi, it's Beth from Manx Radio's newsroom, and we're talking chess in this edition of Newscast because over the past couple of weeks, the 2023 FIDE Grand Swiss and Women's Grand Swiss Isle of Man has been taking place at the Villa Marina, supported by the Scheinberg family. And honestly, I have been introduced to a world that I really did not know existed. So we needed somebody who is a lot more knowledgeable than me to explain what's been going on and actually finding out about the intricacies behind the game of chess.
I'm John Saunders. I'm press officer for the Isle of Man chess tournament.
So John, take us back. When is the first chess game you can ever remember playing?
With my brother in about 1960.
And how was that? Did you win?
Definitely not. I didn't beat him it took me about 10 years to learn to play proper chess and beat my brother. It's the only reason I took up chess, to beat my brother.
And was it something then that was in your family?
Not really. I think my father could play, but he was too afraid to play my brother because my brother would snigger at him and he didn't like that very much.
And if you're talking about playing a game against your brother and that momentous occasion when you finally did beat him, how long was that game?
I think it was only about 6 moves, which made it even more satisfying. And I wrote it down afterwards, so I've still got the recording of that game.
For many people listening, John, chess is either something you are fanatical about, or maybe you have a go playing on a computer and you don't quite know sometimes what the moves mean. How complicated is it?
It's as complicated as you want to make it. If it's like a drug to you, which it was to me when I was younger, then you just go crazy for it. You just want to play chess all day long, think about chess, sitting in the classroom at school thinking about chess games. And the thing that really excited me is that you can write down the score of a chess game. Perfect score, every move, and that really excited me when I was a kid. It's a bit like being able to watch the cup final from 1910 or something, and have an action replay of it, and I thought that was really exciting.
And every time you play, have you got a set move to start with?
Not really, no, there's about 4 or 5 moves I might make at the beginning of a game.
You're not giving anything away though?
No, I'm not telling people because they might be listening and they might be preparing for playing against me.
We're talking about what's been happening here in the Isle of Man and the Villa Marina over the past couple of weeks. Just how significant has this tournament been?
This is a really big deal. This is a qualifier for the World Championship, so people take this really seriously. Most of the people playing here are professional players. They do this for a living. So this is a really big deal, and a lot of money on it, of course, as well.
And what's been the general feeling to the people who've been taking part about it being here on the island?
Well, they love playing here. I mean, we've had chess tournaments here for the last 20 plus years. We used to play down in Port Erin. I used to help run that tournament back in the day. And of course, it's an even bigger deal these days. Now it's in Douglas. So they love being here. They like a nice quiet place where people don't hassle them. They spend time in their hotel room preparing for their games. They have nice places to eat. They have a nice place to play chess. That's all they want.
And in terms of the people who play chess, I mean, there might have been a very stereotypical idea about who a chess player would have been several years ago. What would you say is the case nowadays?
Well, I don't think there is a stereotype. Now, I'm probably the old stereotype, an old bloke with glasses and a beard, which your radio listeners can't appreciate, of course, but that's what I am. But these days, we come in all shapes and sizes. I mean, the best players are usually aged teenagers, 20s, 30s, something like that. I'm past it because I'm 70, and I probably went past it when I was about 50. So it becomes too difficult. I mean, the levels are incredible. You have to be fit. You have to be able to sit for 5-6 hours. I can't do that anymore. I have to sort of get up and go to the loo or, go and lie down somewhere. But these youngsters can do it. So, and of course, women are now playing. There's more women playing chess. There's more children playing chess.
And that must be, for somebody who's so passionate about the game, really heartening to see.
It certainly is, yeah. I've sort of given up playing now, but I love coming to tournaments and hanging out with chess players because I've been doing that all my life. And I love them. I just love being with chess players.
We were talking to somebody who said, actually, I know there's been a lot of negative press about things like COVID, but actually for the game of chess, there might have been some positives there.
It was huge, really. I mean, you can play online. That's the wonderful thing. You don't have to be in the same room as people. When you play chess, you play online. Also, we had the Queen's Gambit, you remember, on Netflix. That was huge. That was tremendous for the game. So actually, we've got more people playing chess after the pandemic than we had before.
John, Christy and I took a tour around the Royal Hall very quietly while some chess games were ongoing. Genuinely, I have never felt tension like it. I don't know whether it's because I was so scared of making a noise, but what is the most important thing if you are setting out for a tournament like this, from a player's point of view?
You've got to prepare. You've got to prepare your openings. The start of the game is the thing that they all prepare for. You can't prepare for the middle game or the end game, but you prepare your openings. And if you haven't studied, then you've got no chance, because they are all going to be studying your games. Because every time you play a game, it gets recorded, it goes on a database, goes online. Even my games, there's probably about 400 or 500 of my games online. These people, there'll be thousands of them. And you can access them for free online and study your opponent's weaknesses and prepare every single game.
And what would a typical weakness be, would you say?
I guess it's you work out if people know their openings very well. You kind of figure out, well, they probably haven't done their homework here, so I'll go for this particular thing. It's sometimes a mistake to see that they've played a really bad game, and you think, well, if I play that opening, I might win. But you probably won't, because they'll have done their homework on that. It's best to go for some other kind of game, because, as I say, they'll do their homework and they'll fix that problem. So when you sit down and try and play the same thing against them, they'll be ready for you.
How important is it to have a poker face in chess?
I don't actually think it's important at all. It really isn't. It depends on your personality. We've got very famous players who didn't have a poker face. Garry Kasparov used to show all his emotions when he played. We've got Hikaru Nakamura, who was second in this tournament, and he shows his emotions on his face as well. They sometimes like to communicate those emotions to their opponent, particularly if they think they're winning. They'll do something like, Garry Kasparov used to do this thing. He would take his watch off at the beginning of the game, put it on the table. When he's decided it's time you resigned, he puts his watch back on. And that's a signal for you to resign the game, because you're lost, and he wants to go and have his dinner.
Yeah, you're mentioning some of these names. I mean, there's some real high-profile people here.
Absolutely. I mean, Hikaru Nakamura, what a character he is. And he's now even more successful as a chess streamer. He gets millions of people following him online. He's really happy about that, of course. It means he can be relaxed when he plays in tournaments, and it means he doesn't have to worry too much about earning money from chess, and it's made him play better.
And for some of these people here, I mean, to what extent, I suppose, is chess their life? Are they doing anything outside of that?
Well, as I say, they're professional players. They usually have to do things like coaching, or maybe, teaching in school or something like that, or writing books, writing articles, those kind of things. But most of them, when they're young, they just play chess all the time.
If you were going to coach me, John, I mean, I know which direction all the pieces should go in, but would there be some top tips that you'd have for somebody who's maybe just setting out on the game?
You've got to love the game. If you're not motivated by chess, if it's a drug and you've got to fall for it, you've got to be addicted to it. That's the important thing. You've got to love it. You've got to want to play. I wanted to kill my brother at the chessboard. That's what motivated me. I kind of overreacted to that because I got to a level where I could beat him easily. But I discovered by doing all that, I become quite a decent player. So you've got to probably want to kill somebody, basically, in order to become a chess player.
What's the longest game you've ever had, do you know?
Probably about 7 hours, something like that. Your mind just goes, you completely space out after about 6 hours. I can't do that anymore. I don't know how these guys do it, but of course they're young and they've got more energy. But it's a really weird experience. If you just sit at a chessboard for 7 hours, it's like doing 2 university exams, straight off. If you can imagine, 7 hours studying on a chessboard. It's horrible, basically. Don't play chess, children. Don't be like me. Go and get a life.
Just thinking about the game and the way things have changed perhaps over the years, John, and I suppose, not to put too fine a point on it, you have to be very careful that people are playing by the rules.
You certainly do, yeah. I mean, chess is very prone to cheating. I don't think there's as much cheating that actually happens as people think. There's a lot of paranoia about cheating as well. It's really the thought that somebody could be cheating that puts people off. I don't think it's very common, but there have been occasions when people have done it. One of the reasons with the broadcast that goes out to the world, it's actually delayed by 15 minutes to stop people out in the outside world being able to communicate ideas back to somebody at the tournament. If they're watching it anywhere in the world and they're using a computer to analyse the game, they could send a message back to that player somewhere in the building, and they could benefit from that if they had a mobile phone secreted somewhere in the building. So that's why we have the broadcast set about 15 minutes. There's all sorts of other things to stop people cheating. We screen all the players before they go into the tournament room. They have to go through these kind of X-ray tests to make sure they haven't got any mobile phones or anything electronic on them. So we're doing everything we possibly can to stop that. But as I say, I don't think there is as much of it as people fear. But some of the top players, I have to say, are getting very paranoid about it.
You mentioned technology there, analysing games. I mean, that must have moved on leaps and bounds in the years.
Yeah, absolutely. The best chess player in this room is the mobile phone in my pocket, not me. And your mobile phone as well, if you had a chess app on there. So, you can't play against computers these days. Even the software on your phone will defeat the best player in the world.
And just thinking about the broadcast, and again, coming from here in the Isle of Man, what do you think that means for the game and for the island?
I think it means a lot for the game. I think everyone's had a fantastic time here. It's been really good. I mean, the Isle of Man's now got used to putting on really great chess shows. We know how to do that here. And that goes back 20 years. Everyone in the chess world knows about the Isle of Man. Even if they don't know about geography, they know there's an island here in the Irish Sea where people come to play chess. We identify it as a chess place. And I think the Isle of Man's done fantastically well to put on this tournament.
And what's the next big event? Next
big event, European Team Championship next week. Lots of these players are going off to play there. Our commentators, David Howell, Ivan Kahuska, also going off to play chess again. I'm not going. I played in it myself in 1997 for Wales. We came last, and I was the bottom board, but I still loved every minute of it.
Well, just finally, John, as we're talking, we're just ahead of the prize-giving ceremony a little bit later, and I tell you what, the tension we talked about earlier has clearly dissipated this evening.
Yeah, of course, chess players relax after tournaments, but you notice what they do out there. They've got chessboards out there. They're relaxing by playing some more chess. Does that really make sense? Doesn't make sense to me, but that's what they do. Because they play quick chess. They play what we call blitz chess, where you have 3 minutes to play all your moves, or 1 minute, bullet chess, 1 minute on your clock to play all of the moves in the game. And if you watch them out there later, you'll see them play bullet chess. And that's just fun, because you can talk and you can banter and you can wind your opponent up and you can have a drink or whatever while you're playing. But that's what they do.
Well, John, you painted an incredible picture for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for making it to the end of the Little Manx Radio newscast. You are obviously someone with exquisite taste. May I politely suggest you might want to subscribe to this and a wide range of Manx Radio podcasts at your favourite podcast provider, so our best bits will magically appear on your smartphone. Thank you.